Right, this is AUI 2000 with my fourth replay session. In this replay, I'll be focusing on this Rubik, and this player is 5,500 MMR about. So he's a pretty good player. That's actually really high. I didn't think I'd get that many submissions from people this high rated, but anyways, I'm doing this one first because I had a condition where if people voted for me in Summit, I would do the replays first, and it's sort of nice because I have no way to differentiate between replays right now, and I don't know how to select the replay I'm doing first. Anyways, this replay was a private game, so this will have a little bit more of a team element to it as well. So anyways, you pick your team. Again, I'm gonna say, I've said it every time, but you want to buy your items really fast. You should know before the pause ends who's buying courier, who's buying wards, do we need sentries, blah blah blah. One thing is that you usually don't want to start with sentries unless you know they're specifically gonna ward somewhere, because if you just have a courier and you wait, you might end up not having to buy sentries, and you can save those 200 gold. And you're gonna say in a mid game, what if we need sentries anyways? And I'm gonna say gold value early game is much larger than gold value later on in the game. And as the game goes on, the value of 1 gold decreases, blah blah blah. Anyways, he gets in, it's good, he wards. The other team does a bad job of scouting, very bad job. Typical 5.5k MMR pub, typical 8k MMR pub. No one's gonna scout in pubs, you should run out there and ward. So anyways, so you should of course think about the lanes. Something, I don't know what they're gonna do. They're gonna have Enigma in jungle. Can you chase him around? They have a ogre support. He's pretty strong. Wait, is this an ogre offlane? No, there's ogre support. So you're not quite sure if you you can chase him to go around. So anyways, you go see him. You have Pugna. I like that hero. So yeah, anyways, support Rubik. So they go chase a dude around. They blocked his camps. They blocked all his camps. This thing was so sad. But he goes back to his own jungle. It's hard for them to zone Timbersaw because of a Pugna. He's pushing in the lane with his Bastard Ring. Like that. Like right now I'm considering like doing 2 replay sessions at the same time. His sort of, cause like, okay, I'm gonna specifically focus on support play. 5 minutes into analyzing, I'm deciding what I'm gonna do with my analysis. Amazing, amazing. I need to prepare. So anyways, so you get the warden. You have vision. You want vision in the jungle. You want to block his camps. You know the Enigma's an extremely fast farmer. He's gonna hit a level 6 at 4 minutes if he's really good, or 4:30 if he's decent. And pubs, I don't know. Anyways, so you should go control it. The AA has boots. I don't like that. I think Rubik should have boots just because he's the one who initiates. AA can sort of be a bit further behind it. Anyways, you want to control their jungle. You see that there's Timbersaw here. You probably don't want this Pugna to be pushing the lane unless you think you can take the tower or you think you can dive and kill him. If you believe you can dive and kill him, then decent to push the lane. You want to think, can I gank mid? What am I doing as a support early game? Like, that's a question you need to ask yourself. If my top lane is running away as towards its tier 2, I better be doing something that's equally valuable in this half of the map, because this is a half of the map that supports has stayed on thus far. They better be doing something equally valuable. So they shut down the Enigma. That is extremely valuable. But after they shut down with wards, you have to sort of think, the Enigma is already not farming. Is my being here important? Like, do I do anything by being here anymore? And the answer to this game is probably no. You're probably not killing this Timbersaw. So you should rotate back to your own jungle. Because the logical choice for Enigma, if his jungle is blocked, is go to the enemy jungle. So if you're in your jungle, the Enigma has to go back to his jungle. But his jungle is blocked. So then he has nowhere to go. And he's sad. And you want to make your opponent sad because one, like, it's gonna win, and 2, it might make you a bit happier. Like, I love it when my opponents are sad. So anyways, this AA rotates, good rotation. You know, oh, I need help. I think Rubik should actually rotate with him. I don't think that Pugna has an early lead. He basically has boots gold on the, he bought a Sobi, so he doesn't quite have boots gold, but he has boots gold lead on the Timbersaw, which is good enough because Pugna offlane against the Timbersaw is not that bad. And he has the ward to protect him. I would have preferred that this ward is a bit higher. It still blocks both camps, and you see down here a bit. But anyways, he has good vision for him, so this route should probably leave him alone. Or you can rotate the AA up, because AA is worthless as support alone. Anyways, he sees him. Oh, he sees him so low. Oh no, fight those things. Fight them. Fight them. Fight them. Fight them. Invoker, come help him. Fight those things. He lost all the region, that was not good. Fight. Oh dear. Okay, the creeps are pulled. Sigma's farm's getting completely wrecked. He has 3 CS. 3? Yep, 3 CS. I actually guessed there. And I say A sucks, but he has boots, so he's gonna kill the Sigma. Boom, first blood. And the reason that we have to look at what led to that first blood. And what led to that first blood was not Enigma being a herder, I'm staying in the enemy jungle with low HP, I'm so stupid, please kill me. It was they blocked his jungle, so it had to go to enemy jungle, and then they went to their jungle and forced him out. And when you do that, it's really hard for him to be safe here, because if you look at the angle you approach, can I please draw? If you look at how he has to farm, you come at an angle which sandwiches him. So if they're coming from the bottom, your ideal run away direction is going to be up, right? Because then you're going away from them. If they come like this, you just run like this, back to your base. If you're in their jungle and they come from here, and you're up here, you are screwed. Even more so because A has boots. If that Enigma's full HP, he'd still be dead. So yeah. Anyways, good movement by the Dire team here. Something to look at. You always want to approach your enemies from behind, where you gank as Chen or Enchantress or anyone, you want to come from behind. The ideal smoke gank on Dire, for example, is going to be like this. You want to smoke gank like this. You want to wrap with a smoke on him. You don't want to smoke from the front, because then he just runs like this and he's happy. You will just wasted a smoke, he won the game. Blah blah blah. So the supports are starting to create space. They know that they can't really die, so they're just running around being maniacs. Which is, ooh, I can do this for this. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Anyways, they're just running around. He has boots. Ogre does not have boots. But DD probably should have saved that. Oh no, Ember's coming for it. So their potential is really good here. So again, he gets a kill. Most people are like, wow, good play by Rubik. But you should think why he got that kill. So he got that kill because they took control of... First, again, it goes back to this. They took control of here. So none of the Radiant team wants to be there. And they're like, if they don't want to be in... I need to put 2.25 second control. If they don't want to be in this area, where do they want to be? Oh, they want to be in this area. So we're going to take control of this area with our 2 supports who are strong together. When these 2 supports are together, they're very strong. And then once you take control of this area, you can be like, hey, now we can push them out of the top lane. So this, like, I want to highlight this. This Dire team is good. They are good at Dota. Like at a pub level. Like they aren't professionals, but they're definitely not your average pub, you know? So when I do this analysis, I'm assuming that everyone is good at this game, in this game. And right now, the Dire is out-moving the enemy team. They're beating them by walking around the map. And it's them walking around the map resulted in a really good kill on the enemy solo mid, and it resulted in a mediocre kill on the enemy jungle, but that was good to happen anyways. And Pugna's going to come in and... Wow, that Enigma is so sad, but this move is really bad. I don't like this at all. Because, well, if you run here alone, like... what do you think is going to happen? And Enigma gets level 3.5 for this. So that was extremely bad for Pugna. He was like... So another thing is that while the supports were doing all this, they're walking around, they're owning the enemy team. They own them up here, they own them here. They actually have 1 core in each lane, farming, getting full XP. So they don't lose anything. When you leave this lane as an offlaner and run over here, some games it's good, some games it's really good. Some games you're just screwing over that Enigma and you wouldn't get that much bottom anyways. But in a game like this, I'm gonna go back again and we're gonna see exactly what he lost for this. Alright, so here's where he's sort of in lane. It's low mana, so there are 4 creeps there. Gets these creeps, alright, and then he runs in. So the good thing that he did is he pushed in the lane before he left. If you... Okay. Before you go over the plug thing, this is important, otherwise I swear I say it after, because, like, I'm a very spastic person, so my memory is awful, and, like, if I think of something, I have to say it right away. So it's really important to push in the lane before you go do something, because if your creeps are here, again, same concept. If your creeps are as tower, they don't same concept but applied differently. If your creeps are as tower, they don't know what you're doing because they have fogged from here to here. If the creeps are here, they have fogged from here to here, and they can sort of assume you're not there because he's not scared of getting ganked right now. And as he goes to mess with the Enigma, let's see what he loses. So keep in mind, this is compared to 0 loss for supports. So he hasn't lost anything yet. Okay. He's losing 3 creeps, 4 creeps, 8 creeps, 7 creeps. Okay, so he lost 7 creeps. 7 creeps. Okay, we're gonna see this death now. Okay. He lost. He didn't buy fully. He didn't buy enough. So he lost. How much gold do? 30 times his level. He lost 150 gold. And then he used a TP. So he lost 7 creeps, which is around 400 EXP. Lost 400 EXP, which would have been his level 6. He lost 250 gold from dying in the TP. And the 7 creeps, so maybe he would have got 5 of them, so he lost another 200 gold from that. He lost 450 gold, 400 EXP. He gave them 400 EXP and 400 gold. So that's a net swing right there of about 1000 EXP and gold by the offlaner walking into here and trying to mess with this Enigma. And you have to sort of consider what you're doing when you screw with the enemy team. Because this Enigma, he's already crying. He's already like deeply hurt inside, you know? You don't need to screw with him more. His game is already not good. You want to focus on the enemy players on the enemy team who are having decent games. And like one of the players having a decent game was in the lane against him. So it's not just a swing of 1000 golden EXP. It's also like who that golden EXP is on that he was trying to pressure. So this is sort of the thing you can criticize in a replay analysis. Like, this is a real mistake. It's not I didn't click W on him fast enough, you know? Suicide, suicide, suicide! What? Alright, just live. Lives, and then he farms mid with 30 HP. Is he crazy? Wait, I'm sorry, like I would say something about this, but I think he's just crazy.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Let death become peace.
Alright, he's crazy. Wait, so I would talk about the swing there, but yeah, whatever. And I want to know if someone does that in your pub. Okay, this is also important. So if someone does something like that in your pub, your reaction should definitely not to be flame them, because if you flame them, they will go on mega tilt because they were probably already on tilt. You better just not mention it, honestly. Like, holy crap, I'm gonna do like a vlog on like hub mentality probably, or an episode of this, I guess. I don't know which one, but that one I actually need to prepare, so I can't do it today, or maybe I'll do it later today. Who knows? I have nothing better to do with my time, let's be honest here. So anyways,
Dire's top tower is under attack.
like the thing is, his Pugna played really well in lane, so he's not a bad player. Like, you have to realize that. He's not a bad player. By doing this, by showing someone low, this is actually an interesting idea I've never thought about. By showing yourself low in lane, they're going to be like, hey, look at this idiot in mid. Let's all run to him and try to get a kill, especially in a pub. So if he baits them and he doesn't die there, and he gets those extra creeps and he puts pressure on the tower, that was a really good move. Because what the enemy team's supposed to assume is that when your hero is low, you have to go back to base. So by doing something while he's low, you're breaking the game of Dota in your favor. It was broken in his favor until he died, and then it was just bad for him then. Like, I don't know, like it could have been an amazing play, but it was just bad. So yeah. Anyways, they push bottom. This goes cool. You have to think about like when you can push. So during this push, what you have to think about this Rubik is that, okay, like pretend you're this Rubik right now. You're just Rubik. You don't see Kappa. You don't see shit right now. You don't know where any of their heroes are. But you should have an idea. And okay, if you're showing 3 heroes here
Dire's top
and
tower
none of them are carrying TPs, you can be damn sure you're gonna get dive top.
Radiant's bottom
And
tower is
this
under
is like
attack.
way too overly aggressive, right? Like you know you're gonna get dive top. This guy should be dead, right? I think he lives here, but oh, he dies. I mean, oh, okay, he definitely dies. What the hell? So by dying there, he also sort of gives up this tower,
Structures
and they
are
should definitely use glyph because
Dire's
yeah,
top
nice,
towers are
nice.
fortified. Radiant's
But
bottom
if he had
tower
just
is
lived
under
there
attack.
and sort of hung around, it would have been really good because maybe like Tidehunter could have healed up in TP. Maybe they could have got bot tower because they'd push it faster and someone else could TP to help him. Mostly he should just give it up the tower because Jakiro's OP against towers and they can't defend it because the tower doesn't do any damage. But that's an important concept. When your teammates are showing, that's not even it. You have to think about what the enemy about what the enemy sees and how they're gonna apply it. That's the basically biggest mistake Rubik did this game because he played really well in the early game. I do want to say that.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah. I had something important to say and my mind is just blank now. Yeah, that is not good. That is not good. So yeah. Anyways, again, and Team C, some of his team, you do have to play a bit defensive here. But okay, and I do want to say that if he lives here and he escapes and he sees them, that's good for his team. Then his team knows where they are. And the enemy has to be like, hey, they know our 2 heroes are here. Do we have to be scared in the other lanes? And they have no TPs because no one likes TPs. So that means that the enemy could probably dive a tower. They have Ravage hero. They are strong. You should be scared. Boom, Ravage. Oh no, disaster.
Radiant's
That was almost so good. That was almost such good play. Well, actually, I know what happened. Oh, okay, watch this. Okay, this isn't like a thing at all to learn from, but like, see, anchor smashes. Okay, so he's greedy, right? He goes for the anchor smash. If he just ravages here, if he just ravaged before that, so he anchor smashes and he tries to ravage, and the Searing Chains cancels it, and then he gets lucky that it hits. But he should have just ravaged right away. And this is something. This is not normal spell casting. I should have casted this Sunstrike 0.1 seconds sooner. I should have reacted sooner. You don't want to care about those things, but you do want to care about how you decide to pull off your ganks. You do want to care that when Invoker is coming in, he should have told his Tidehunter, when I cold snap him, you should ravage, because they don't even know if he has already have a spirit out. The only way they can kill him, if this ravage hits here, when they cannot see him. They were lucky that he didn't have a preemptive defensive spirit. So instead of doing this, as soon as he cold snap, the ravage should be coming. That's a decision you can talk about, a mechanical decision you can talk about. Because I think when I talked about it before, I made it seem like you should never talk about mistakes, which is not true. But you should definitely learn from them. Anyways.
Radiant's
Now they have no Ravage. Dark. And they have no Ravage, and they go ham. They go ham. Ham. Ember Spirit, ham hero. Dead. Alive hero. Owned. So, we're gonna go back a bit. We're gonna go back to this Ravage. I'm gonna think, what was the reaction? This is another thing to improve on for sure. Oh, wait, I just want to talk about how brilliant this gank is first. So he's uphill, he's uphill, he's uphill. No one's showing, no one's showing. Wait, did I see him? Okay, this gank was almost brilliant. If they were smoked, this gank was the best gank in the universe. Because he goes down, he's uphill, he sees nothing. He goes downhill, and then they appear, and he's like, oh shit. And that's how you want a gank to happen. Like, you want them to not have vision on you and stuff. Anyways, as soon as that mistake happened, they chase him. Okay, that's fine. They're going for the kill. That's okay. Wait, does that... So when you activate Fire Remnant, you don't take damage from Pugna Blast? From a Pugna Ward? Is that what happened there? Wait, sorry, this is for myself, because I need to know this crap. Oh, he had Fire Shield on. He had Fire Shield on, right? Yeah, you have Fire Shield on. Okay, you do take damage. It's a Flame Guard. Anyways, as soon as that happens, your immediate thought can't be, Tide, you fucked up. Like, I need to punish you by staying around as Invoker and dying. Like, I hate my team. I'm gonna punish them. We have no Ravage. Punishment time. This Pugna loves having no HP.
under
So his
attack.
team, instead, they punish him, right? They're probably flaming him right now. Instead, they should be like, oh, what's our next step? We screwed up. What can we do to win this game? And changing that to your mentality in pub games too will actually really help you improve. Because a lot of pub games, like if you've ever played a Dota pub, like at least half their games, there's gonna be some major blaming, like major blaming. And I know for sure that blaming, like if you blame someone, you're like, you should have done this, you suck at Dota. Their reaction is never, you're right. Now I'm gonna play better for the rest of the game. But somehow, like, that's the expected reaction or something. Like, it's actually incredible, like how people think in Dota. And like I love it. Like I love them thinking like that because it's just so funny to me. Oh, it's so good. Anyways, okay. Anyways, try your best. And then this is also like save your buddy syndrome. This is a syndrome that we at Cloud9 suffer from. It's one of our most important. So we're like, okay, you get the kill, and you're like, oh shit. Okay. They're going on my title. Oh, he helped me escape. Okay, now he helped me escape. Now I have to go back and help him. We gushed this guy once, he probably has max flame guard, 120 damage, he soaks to 500. Oh shit, I can't save my buddy. Oh, I just fed an extra kill. So you also have to know when you need to start getting out. When someone needs to be just let to die.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Fear cannot rule you, Timbersaw.
Alright.
Dire's
So anyways, you have to think, you have to always think of the next step. The Dire team just got wrecked in this fight. Look at this. Look. Come on, Dota. Come on. Don't trick me like that with the solo AA kill. They just got wrecked in this fight. Yeah. 2,000 gold swing. Wow. That's more than I thought. It's an 1,800 gold swing and 2,000 EXP swing.
Dire's middle
Like,
tower
wow,
is
that is, woo. Right? But you have to keep thinking of the next step.
Dire's structures are
You
fortified.
can't just, I don't know, just be whiny and just be like, meh. Now we're gonna play worse. Hey, do. Ooh, did they hit that? Wait, level 8, level 5, level 7, level 8, level 7. Alright, I mean, his levels aren't even that off. I just thought the game was longer than this because I've taken so long to go through this replay.
Radiant's
That's
tower
unfortunate. There's a good
is
Sunstrike.
under attack.
Alright, goes for Pugna. Pugna dead. Oh! Pugna alive! Pugna? Did they have a rule where Pugna's not allowed to heal in the fountain?
Dire's
He just broke the rule.
Dire's bottom tower
Okay,
is
so
under attack.
that there was the almost amazing play by Pugna again. Like, I think this Pugna player is actually just mega legit, by the way. I don't think like he's some sort of idiot. Like, you have to realize, like, this guy's probably 6k MMR, so he knows he's super low. Especially like here, right here. So if this Ember, if he had stayed back a bit, and this Ember had if he had one flame diamond left, and the net worth are sort of like this, like Pugna's way down here. Wait, where is he? Okay, well, it's not that bad, but his team's behind, so he's gonna get a lot of golden XP, and he would have to heal anyways. Like, the concept of having to heal anyways is important here, because he's gonna waste 30 seconds on that anyways. If they smoked, and they stood here behind him, like these two heroes, they stood here behind him, and he used his last spirit to go on him, they would get a free kill on the Ember for this shitty Pugna. Like, that would be so cool, actually. But, it's Pugna. He's just crazy. And don't get 1 point in Slight if you're playing Ember. I actually hate the 1 point in Slight so much, I think. I mean, some games it might be good to dodge a spell, but unless you have a specific purpose for it, you need, like, do I want to talk about, yeah, okay. So, heroes sort of have peaks when they're the strongest. For example,
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
and like different peaks, right? Not like a complete peak. Like, Jakiro's going to be really strong at level 7 because he has max liquid fire. Ember is at his strongest at level 7 when he has max flame shield because he's really strong. And at level 9, he's a complete beast because he has a 3-second stun effectively because no one has BKBs and they're rarely heroes with purges. He has a 3-second stun. He has 1400 HP, and this is with mana boots, which I really don't like. And he has like 300 nuke down. Like that's Ember's strongest. When you take the Sleight of Fist, you move your peak from level 9 to level 10 because you really want that extra second. That's really good. It's really good. It's a really good spell. And like what you get out of it is like an extra auto attack spell. Like it's so mediocre compared to these two skills. I think you almost every game you go 4-0-4 on Ember. I think it's extremely rare that you go 2-4-4. And like look what he does. Like I'm saying that and you're like AUI, you're an idiot. I know that 2-4-4 is better. And that's fine. If you think that, that is completely fine. Like you should think like that. Maybe not call me an idiot. But you should like look at it yourself, you know? You should try to learn on your own. You shouldn't take what I say as a, you know, like some sort of Bible or whatever. But when you say that, you have to have some sort of basis for it. You have to have gone through a replay, gone to his level 9 and said, if I had 2-2-4 here, I would have got an extra kill. Or I would have survived. I would have done more in this game than I would have with 4-0-4. And then you have to see when I'm 2-4-4, I would have done more in this game with 2-4-4 than I would have with 4-2-4, which is usually true. You usually do more with 2-4-4 than you do with 4-2-4 at that specific level. But then you have to go back and you have to compare the two, right? Like, would I have done more? Would my 4-0-4 have let me hit that level 13 peak where I have 4-4-4? And if this isn't obvious, like I'm talking about like the skill levels, right? Like 4 in Searing Change and 2 would be 2 in Searing Change and in order from Q to R. And you have to consider, like, if I went 4-0-4 and I got an extra kill, does that mean I would hit level 13 faster and then my 2-4-4 would have been worse anyways? And like you have to think about it like that, you know?
Radiant's middle tower is under
3 points is not that bad because the damage scales 80, 120, 240, 300, but that 4th point is extremely important.
Radiant structures are fortified.
I don't like 3-0-2 into 3-0-4 because your Flame Guard is easily one of the best spells in the game when it can't get broken. And at level 2 it can get broken by a single hero a lot. At level 3 it's very rare that heroes have 350 nuke damage. Extremely rare. At like that when you're level 5. Is there even a hero that has 350 magical damage at level 5? It's before resistances, so Pugna doesn't, I think. I think it doesn't work like that. Even Lina doesn't, right? Like it's 180. Oh, Lina does. That's shock. But then like again, this is like it's so specific when they can break it. And even if they can break it, at least you're not taking that 150 damage of 150 of damage. Yeah, and I mean, if you really want, you can 3-2-2, but you can't do that if you play professionally. Anyways, let's go. I'm actually starving right now, so I might just speed through this. So again, I haven't been focusing on this rubric enough, but I do want to say, even if you submit your replay, I'm going to go over the game, not necessarily your specific play, because going over your specific play is coaching, and this isn't coaching. Anyways, I will talk a bit more about this. So you have to keep your positioning, of course. Oh, Ravage! Ailt! They used everything for the Enigma. The sad Enigma who's not sad anymore, he caught up. But anyways, so I really like one of the most important concepts for support, of course, is going to be positioning. Because if you click all the heroes in this game, none of them are squishy supports. I mean that's such an obvious thing to say, but it's more important. Positioning for supports is more important in the mid game than for anyone else. In the late game, I'd argue that carry positioning is the hardest because they like if a support dies, a lot of times it's so what? If a carry dies, like the game's over, and that's sort of people say carry is the easiest role to play, and I completely 100% disagree with it. And that's from someone who's like I've played only carry and support, so maybe I'm not accounting for the other roles, but I definitely know carry is not the easiest to play. I don't think any of them are really the easiest. Then it's good. It's good positioning. You wrap into the side. You always if you're okay. And this is a recurring concept that keeps coming up. If you are stronger than an opponent, you want to cut off the retreat. You want to come from their place of retreat. If say there are 5 men hitting this tower as Radiant, the Radiant team's all here hitting the tower. The most common fight that occurs is like this. Fuck, let me draw. The most common fight is like there's 5 heroes here. The most common fight is this, right? But if you're stronger, what you want the fight to do is you want to reach around, you know, they can't leave, and you just, they're all dead. Because they can't escape, right? Like, their escape paths are all this way. And if you come from around, that's a funny face. If you come from the other side, they have to run through you. And running through heroes in Dota is really hard because stuns and slows and damage and auto attacks and stuff like that. So again, if you think you're stronger than them, wrap around. If you have time. And you have to judge it, right? Like, you don't always have time to go, whee. Sometimes you might only be able to do like this before they notice it. Sometimes it gets obvious, so you have to just jump from the front with Blink Dagger, stuff like that. You have to judge it. It has to be situational. And let's go back because something happened while I wasn't watching. So you got 1 kill, but they blew Ravage, so you also can't be too excited, right? You got a kill, you're like, woohoo! But you have to note that they have all their spells left. They're strong, and you don't have Ravage. So you do need to. It's really hard to judge, but you have to be constantly thinking in Dota. Like, I mean, that's obviously a theme. Like, in Dota requires constant thought. Your build sucks, Pugna. Where's your ulti? Where's your Decryptify? Why do you have 4 in us? I mean, Ward is really good. You should take 4 in it early, but like, what? Alright, anyways. Oh, disaster! Wait, this actually isn't that important for the first little replay, but wait. I just gotta. Oh. Disaster! See, this Rubik, see, this, I would say this is a good TP from Rubik. He's getting behind him. He thinks he's stronger. So again. This is a disaster for Dire because Timbersaw kills 2 of them. But Rubik had the right idea here, right? Like, we should all learn from this Rubik, by the way. This Rubik is a good player. He TPs behind him because this cuts off his path of retreat. What he doesn't know is that his Invoker doesn't want to invoke a different spell because he has nothing, and I hate Exo Invoker so much. And this AA is a worthless hero, so the Timbersaw instead, he just kills him. And yeah, the Rubik kills the Timbersaw back. Okay. So it was a 2-for-1 for the Radiant. And the Dire ganked him, which makes this a bit worse. It makes it a bit worse because, you know, you don't want to gank someone and 2 of you die. But Rubik was level 6, now he's level 8. Timbersaw, like, one of the things that you want in Dota is, like, you want high levels on your supports and stuff. Like, high levels on all your heroes. If you have a really weak hero and he gets 1 kill, solo XP, he's going to catch up completely in the game. Completely be back in the game. So we opened this, and look at the gold change. Look at the XP change. That was actually good for the Dire. In terms of purely XP and gold changes. What's bad for the Dire is that they lost 2 heroes. And 2 heroes means that the lanes are going to push in, stuff like that. But, like, I mean, it's sort of comparable because they lost, like, an A and a Invoker. Like, they're useless, right? They're sort of useless at pushing lanes and stuff. And the Invokers are Midas anyway, so, yeah. So, that fight, that was actually really good for them. I mean, I think that was actually really good for the Dire. And people won't... When you're analyzing replays, you have to go through it like that. Like, what did we actually get out of that? If I see a 2-for-5 and one team is, like, 40k behind or something, like, I mean, not this patch because it gets limited, but, like, for example, like, when the gold and EXP changes first came out, that happened, like, 2-for-5. Often the two heroes is really good, but on like, it would look like the 5 heroes is really good. The 5 dead. You guys know what I mean. You guys know what I mean. I don't like Boots of Travel and Ember Spirit early. I hate it so much actually. So Rebecca's Arcane's now. That's good. That's good. He's catching up. All right. So since this is sort of focusing on the support, I want to talk about the concept of warding. So you're sort of like I'm not gonna talk about like specific ward, but more like how you want to ward. It is like it's a pretty basic thing once you play support a lot, but it's not necessarily intuitively obvious. So the easiest way to know how valuable your words are. Oh, okay. The easiest way when people ask, "How do I know if a word is good?" And like the easiest answer is like if it sees the opponent a lot, right? Or like if it gives a lot of vision to fight. Like those are obvious. That's what you want a word to do. You want it to see your opponent a lot, or you want to block camp. We're not going to talk about blocking camps right now. In general, if you were to look at a Dota game and you just mouse over here and just follow it, in general, unless the game goes super long, the majority of their time is going to be spent on their own half of the map. Right? Like that's they spawn from there, they buy items from there. Like of course, right? That's what you're gonna say to that. But that means for warding that the further out towards the enemy base you can get your wards, the more valuable they're going to be. And that doesn't mean that if they have a tier 1 up, you want a ward here. Like they have to be relevant, right? If they have a tier 1, the best ward you can get is probably like behind their tier 1 or something like that. But in general, if you can put a ward here, or you can get a ward, ignoring the rune, okay, if you can put a ward here, or you can put a ward here, you're gonna want it here as Dire because it's closer to the enemy's base. You're gonna see them more often. They're gonna be more often here than here, and more than that, they have to go through here to get to here. So yeah, that's yeah. All right. So people in Twitch chat are arguing about Boots of Travel and Ember. So like I need to talk about this, even though okay. So Travels on Ember has one huge problem, and that's that it goes back to the concept of the peak of the hero. When is this hero the strongest? And the hero is strongest when you have like phase boots or treads or whatever, a bracer or drums, or whatever build you're going. You could be going blade or whatever, and you're level 9. If you're level 9 and your inventory is travels, you are insanely wasting the potential of the hero. You should pick a different hero if you're going to do that. Like, if Ember is not a purely good late game hero, if you want a like hero that's only good at late game, there are better options to Ember by far. Ember is good because he's a really good fighter early and he scales into the late game. And that's something that was really popular at TI, where he was picked pretty decently. Yeah, like that's why I really hate the Travels in Ember, because you completely ignore the strength of the hero and try to change him to something else. And that's something like some people like going, say, back on Visage or something. There's situations where it's really good. There are situations where Travels are very good in Ember, but for 99% of the games, you're trying to change a hero into something that he's not. And sometimes if you're completely outpicked, that's what you have to do. Sometimes you're completely outpicked. You have 0% chance to win if the game goes past 30 minutes. So you have to build that mech on Visage so you can all in. But primarily, you don't want to build that mech on Visage. You don't want to build those Travels in Ember. You want to abuse the strength of your heroes until you can do something with it. And like naked boots on Ember, until you can get Travels like later when you're like level 16. That sounds better than rushing Travels or something like that. But like upgraded boots are very important for that hero because treads help you deal with mana problems a lot, and phase boots are very good for fighting. Phase boots are incredibly good for farming and fighting. So like Travels, I would 1% of the games on Ember. And I don't even know what that situation is. I actually don't know. Like, if you have to, like, if the game gets to a point where you have to run in like this, wait. Here's when travels are good, Ember. The game gets to a point where you have to run in. This is your farm pattern. You run in here, you creep skip a wave here, and you TP out. And then you go back here, you run here, and you creep skip a wave here, and then you TP out. And you go here, and you creep skip, and you TP out. And you go here, and you creep skip, and you TP out. Because you would have spent so much on TP. That's when the travels are okay on Ember. Other than that, I actually don't know when travels would be good on Ember. I just don't see what it does. Maybe I'm wrong. And I have to say this, like, pro players are not always right. I'm wrong about so many things. Like, it's actually incredible how I'm professional at this game. But anyways, like, you have to make a decision yourself. If my points don't seem valid to you and you have a different reason for why you would want travels on a hero, then you should completely go with it. And it's way better for learning that way, I think, rather than just like parroting someone and just looking at them like, hey, he does this, I'm gonna do this now. That's gonna completely stunt how you learn, I think. Right. Anyways, I'm done with that discussion completely, because, yeah. I don't think any good points have been made for travels, by the way, in all of chat. So, yeah. Running in as support, not the best. How you want to approach fights is you want to have someone else go in for you. It's a bit hard here because he actually doesn't know that the Ember Spirit ran up here. And that he's a regen, he thinks he's sort of low, but your movement does want to be to the safer side. If your enemy's going to be here, you want to sort of move this way and this way, you know, in a fight. Like you want to move away from the enemy if you're weaker than them, which they are right now. And this is sort of a similar this is the opposite of the application of the concept, but you want to wrap around if you're stronger. If you're weaker, you want to have a easy escape path, and you want to sort of try to kite them if that's how you can take fights. Sometimes you just have to give up towers. Sometimes you have this stupid fire-breathing dragon. You just have to give up towers. Yeah. I think this replay's over. Oh, wow. Wow, that's long. How's this game not over soon? Ember Spirit. Oh. What? How is this game not over yet? This game goes for an hour, 20 minutes? Big joke? They have no late game heroes. They have late game heroes. They have Enigma late game. They have Timbersaw late game. They have Ember late game. They have Jakiro. All 5 of these heroes are good late game. What's happening? I'm blaming Mana Boots on Ember Spirit here. And that's the worst shit ever. That's worse than Travels by far. Travel, like... Okay, I do want to say one last thing about Travels. When I say that I think it's really bad, I don't think it's game losing to get. I don't think that it's going to completely alter your game so that you cannot win if you buy Travels and Ember Spirit. I think that it's almost alters your game into a position you can't win if you buy Arcane Boots on Ember. So Arcane Boots. Arcane Boots Ember. That shit's funny. Anyways, okay, so Rubik submitted this replay, but I'm gonna go over something for the Radiant team. When you're ahead like this, you need to consider the two main things you need to consider are, can we end the game? And should we try to end the game now? And those are different things. Or like, okay, do we have a 100% chance to win the game now? What the hell? What's wrong with my brain? It's like, do we need to end the game now? And should we end the, and that sort of ties into should we end the game now? And actually, no, there's only one thing. I don't know why I said two things. I'm actually so dumb. So the one thing is, do we need to end the game now? Oh yeah, and the second thing is, will drawing it out later give us a better chance of winning? Nice la. Nice la. I learned how to speak English. Okay. So in a game like this, you have better late game than them. Far superior late game. This hero, ownage in late game. This hero, easily one of the best in late game. This hero, pretty good in late game. This item sort of ruins his late game because he have farm properly. This hero, like, in this new patch, really good late game actually, because BKBs can't be rebought. They're only 5 seconds. This hero, he has, like, what people underrate on this hero is that he has a 9-second, 2.2 second stun. And magic damage never scales down. His attack speed slows scale down, but magic damage never scales down in the game. Because people get higher armor, but they don't get higher magic resist, and you run assault, so you don't have, like, you can't stack planeswalker cloaks. So, from this position, I would say, if they sat back and farmed, they have a 0% chance to lose this game. And you actually have to consider, do they have enough pickoff for us? What is their pickoff? Their pickoff is if they use Blink Ravage. That's their pickoff. That's all. They don't have a Cossack's Invoker or anything like that. They can sort of smoke into Rubik Lift, but that's once every 12 minutes. Smoke is every 12... What? Is that a bug, or did they both have 3? So anyways, regardless, if you sit back and farm Radiant, you probably have a 0% chance to lose the game. Worst case scenario, they Ravage for you. Like, they blink here, you're farming here, they blink on you as 5, and they Ravage. And then you respawn, and then you can take a fight. So, because they have no Ravage. So you have to, you can't just run at their base. And I think that's what this team did, right? Like, I mean, this replay is way too long. Maybe someone just left it on and just kept recording. And they sent me way too big a file and download something too big. But most likely, the biggest thing is that you can't just run at their base and expect to win, even if you're ahead. You have to have a plan for how you win. You have to draw them here, and then you smoke onto top, and the lane position is here because you have someone properly split pushing, and you, boom, you have to think, oh, hey, Roshan's up. We're so far ahead. We have super good wards. We have a ward here. We have a ward here. We saved up our wards. So we have a ward here. We have wards here, blah, blah, blah. We are going to get, Venom wards down. They can't push us. We're going to take Roshan for free. And then once we have Aegis, we can go hit their base. And Aegis is a really important concept in Dota because you can have an Aegis hero hit their base. They can spend a bunch of spells to kill him. And even if they kill him, you're going to be stronger in that fight because he's going to come back, obviously. And 2, you're hurting their buildings. So Aegis lets you break base. What was my point even there? Having a second life lets you hit buildings. Whatever. It helps compensate for there being a tier 3 tower there. Meh. So someone in chat is saying how magic scales down as the enemy gets stronger, your spells is the same set amount down. That's true. That is completely true. As enemies finish their tier 6 items, spells get weaker. But I meant that sort of more as like the slow on the spell doesn't get weaker, the stun get weaker. I mentioned the attack speed still gets weaker, but even magical damage is very relevant late game. There's very few heroes in this game that wouldn't care if an ogre started multicasting in 4x consistently. Like, magic damage is very important late game. And when you're, for example, dealing with a Doom that has 3k HP, you're like, hey, magic damage sort of sucks against him because my nuke went from doing 300 damage. When he was level 10, my nuke did a quarter of his life. Now it does 1/10. But you have to realize that that Doom, if he builds correctly, he also has 45 armor. So, like, your physical damage is also not that good. So, it's a I don't know. Magic damage just never really gets that much worse. You always want some magical damage. And especially since people might start buying Ghost Scepter, S-Blade, stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, Ogre's Multicast is one of the highest damage outputs in the game. But I want to use the extreme in my example, of course, right? I don't want to say the Magic Missile, like Magic Missile comes with a stun. I don't know. Like it's just magic damage never gets significantly worse, and extreme it gets worse compared to early game, but mid game to late game it never gets worse, and it's still important to have in your team, and it's still scary. I am so tired. Ha 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 ha. So, anyways, they're defending base. So, what could be happening right now? So let's think about this. What could the Radiant team be doing right now instead of having done 0 damage to his tower and showing 4 heroes there? They could have... It's very good that this Enigma is doing this. This Enigma is a player. I respect him for this. But what they could be doing is They could have Ember leave a spear here, and then he goes farms 5 camps, and he runs back here. He leaves a spear here. He goes and farms 5 camps. They could have Timbersaw, who presumably will farm enough for travel. Holy shit, he has 20 minutes Bloodstone eggs. Anyways, he got Timbersaw with travels, just farming, push this thing, farm. This is Timbersaw's thing. And if you do it like that, we're gonna compare. Okay, let's compare. If they did that, and they sat like heroes in lanes, and they just were aware of the smokes. If all 3 lanes are pushing in, so they had to show 3 heroes. Not showing heroes in a lane, you sort of back up a little bit. If they do that, we're gonna compare what the Dire team has in map space. So this is the line the Dire team is gonna be. This is where they are, and this is where the Radiant team is gonna be. And the Radiant team is gonna farm 3x or 3x, 2.5x because they don't have anyone who can kill Ancients that well. 2.5x what the Dire team is farming, because especially since the towers are going to take some of the last hits. And that is, like, this gold graph, it's you see how it's plateauing? They're staying outside the enemy base, and it's just plateauing. It should be going, woo, like, you know, like, higher, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now this thing is just running on mid, and we're gonna fast forward a bit. We're gonna see. So when you do this, and you fail to end the game, we're gonna watch the gold graphs after. We're gonna keep zooming in. Keep in mind, this gold graph could have been at probably like 25k right now. Alright, pause. You see this gold graph? It's starting to dip down because they went for a risky play. They tried to end the game before they had a 100% chance to win. So now we're going to unpause. And we're just going to watch this gold graph. We're going to just keep watching this gold graph. So what do they do after they lose? They're like, they don't think that, hey, we should need to farm a little bit. And then they push them on their base. So the farm's going up a little bit, and then they're just focusing on taking that. Our fight happens. So we're buying back. Stuff's happening. I'm just gonna ignore everything that's happening. Keep in mind, if they had kept farming, this game would actually be over at this point. They would hit their core items on specific heroes, and they would be too strong to fight. They would have BKBs on every single one of their cores. I'm gonna count Enigma as a core. Enigma, Timbersaw, and this guy would all have BKBs. Because if you think about it, how strong is an Ember with Battle Fury Arcane Boost drums at this point in the game? Ember is really strong when he has upgraded boost drums. Incredibly strong. Level 9. We talked about that peak. What does Battle Fury actually give you? Battle Fury gives you the capacity to farm. So if you buy Battle Fury and go for an all-in, you should have bought a different item. You should have bought a Death Slayer. Anything. You should have bought anything but Battle Fury. So that's like getting it's hard to say this because people don't see it quite this way, but you've effectively bought a Midas and then tried to fight them. Because Battle Fury is like a Midas. It's gonna help you farm faster. It gives you regen and damage and cleave. That's farming. Yeah. We're gonna open this up. We're gonna resume. Say win a fight, whatever. This graph should be like I can't go high enough. If the screen was if this point was here, then they could be like up here by now. Like freaking 40k difference. They kept farming. But you would probably end it at like once you have all your BKBs. And that's like you have to play by your peaks. When you have you have a BKB, then you're strong enough to end the game. And then you have to also realize it can't always be like this, right? You can't always passively farm. What if they have Naga, Spectre, you know, like some PA. They have 5 carries, and you have these 5 pushing heroes. This goes back to the 2 thoughts you need to have. It's like, are we able to break base, and do we have a higher chance of winning if we break base now or later? I don't know what I said before because I'm stupid. I don't remember. But anyways, like in those scenarios, you would have to try to break base. But you would still want to take map control and be able to take Roshan, usually, before you break base. There are some instances where this isn't true, but in general, you do want to be pushing. Because if you're pushing, at the very least, there are 5 heroes defending there. If they have 4 heroes defending and 1 hero's like farming, then you're under some pressure to get something done. But if you get all 3 lanes in, you can just push. But yeah. So, like they're fighting. They're playing a bit worse than their opponents, but they're not playing like. If you think about it, they're actually playing a lot worse than their opponents because they're going into fights with 15k more gold and they're losing them. That means that either their opponent's heroes are better or they're worse at Dota in this specific case. Like, they're not worse overall because they got a 15k gold lead. I don't think their heroes are worse. I think that they just chose the wrong time to try to peak against their opponents and end the game. And that was their, like, if they lose the game, it was all because they got the mid tower, but so what? Like, who cares if you get that mid tower? Who cares if you get that mid Rax even? If you get this mid Rax and you lose 5 heroes for it, it's good for the enemy team. The mid Rax is the least valuable Rax in the game. The bottom and top Rax are way more valuable. Specifically, the bottom Rax is the most valuable Rax in the game, just because it gives you control of this portion of that. Because if you look at what the Raxes do, this is mid, in between here, this is mid lane, and the other Raxes will give you control over the jungle, and that's what it gives you the potential to control of. And yeah, it's sort of a bit fatter than that. It maybe gives you a third of the map, but the sides of the map are more important because your creeps build up. I'm gonna pause it. When you have side Raxes, like, you're never gonna see your mid lane, if you have Rax, with 5 range creeps hitting. When they have multiple range creeps hitting, that's when you have potential to just lose your base to it, you know? Because they've stacked up creeps. They pushed it out to here, and you have mega creeps here, so they start building up. Now there's 2 waves here. Now there's, as it slowly moves on, there's gonna be more and more waves. And then you get to your base, and there's like 3.5 waves worth of creeps, and they just massacre your tower. The mid lane is not like that. It's too easy to push out. It's like, how to explain this? Yeah, that's just how it is. I'm not saying Battle Fury wasn't the right item. I'm just saying, if you get a Battle Fury, you have to play like you have a Battle Fury. If you want to all into break base, you want to get a Death Slayer because you need it to hit buildings. If you want to specifically kill them, maybe you want some Skady, or I don't know exactly what you would want, because Ember Spirits always go Battle Fury. But like, you do have these decisions to make, and it's sort of a cool dynamic that Dota has, and how versatile your items are. People never think about Dota. Let's be honest here, like, people never try really hard to think about Dota. And like, sure, they fought all these good fights, they fought well, they got it up, and then they lost the fight, so now it's going down. And this is why you start to see swings, even in pro games, where the gold graph just keeps going up and down. Because people don't think about how they want to end the game. They don't think that they think that if we don't end the game now, like, it's going to get better for us later. And we're going to have a 100% chance to win instead of a 95% chance to win. That 5% is, yeah. Like, why would it ever go like this? I mean, what am I? Why would it ever go? Why would you ever want 95 instead of 100? What am I like? I'm so zoned out. Yeah. So. Ooh, that looks so cool. Wait, I'm just gonna. That looks so cool. Is that what it looks like when 2 chakrams are? No, it's just a bug. Wait, go back. No, it's not. That's actually so cool. Okay, anyways, I'm done with that. Yeah. So the rest of this game is sort of not that relevant for me. I want to apologize to Rubik because he's a really good player who submitted his replay, and I think it was sort of expected that I would focus a bit more on him, but like, this game was interesting to me in other ways, so I want to apologize for that a bit. But I mean, you're freaking support, Rubik. What do you do in a game like this? You sit back and you wait for a black hole, or you sit back until you can lift someone and you never run. And I do want to say though, one of the things that you need to know when you're playing a really squishy support is that threat of a spell is almost just as important as having a spell. And people highlight this a lot up with Enigma. It's not about casting that big 5-man black hole. It's about the fact that they're scared that you're gonna get that 5-man black hole, so they have to play differently. So as a support, so say I'm playing Crystal Maiden. So she's sort of infamous for being incredibly squishy and hard to cast spells on. She's slow, her spells aren't particularly high range. When you cast spells on Crystal Maiden, a lot of what support players have said about Crystal Maiden is that I will cast my Q in a fight, I'll cast my W, and I'll die. And that's how Crystal Maiden is. How you should cast spells with Crystal Maiden is you have to be... What the hell? I have like hiccups from drinking too much water too fast. This is sort of cool. You have to be incredibly patient with your spell casting. How you want to cast spells in Crystal Maiden is you all cast your Q, your Crystal Nova, because that's pretty high range. And then you sit there, you back up, you sit there and wait. Your W is really good to get off, but you sit there and wait. You wait for an enemy to overextend on your teammate. And then you get your free bite. Which is good. You got a free bite off. Okay, that's good. But more importantly than casting that bite, which could potentially win your team fight, so it feels like I'm underrating it here. More importantly than that, you're still alive. You're still alive to cast more spells. And that's good. And what do I want to talk about first? So casting a stun later is usually going to be better than casting a stun earlier if they are going to die anyways, just because it disrupts their game flow and stuff like that. And dear Lord, Ember, you need to keep a spirit out when you go in. And the threat of having a bite means that they can't overextend and dive you. And also, wow, I said my first point, I lost my second point, so I just made up a random third point, but that's not the second point I had in mind. I'm going to sit here and think until I get it. Casting Crystal Frostbite. Okay, I lied, I give up. So stuff like that. Alright, alright. Alright, what else am I talking about in this replay? Okay, I need like 2 minutes. Alright, let's see. I don't think there's going to be anything left in this game. The most important thing about this game to take away, because I think the Radiant team's about to lose to a far less superior late game lineup, is that you need to push your advantages, but you need to know when you have specific advantages, and when you should use that advantage to create a bigger advantage. It's like, okay, I'm going to make an analogy to StarCraft here. You get a fast expand, and they go for a rush, and you defend the rush. Your reaction, like this is a really obvious one, but like your reaction should not be like to right away go and try to kill them, like pull all your workers and go all in, because you're pulling ahead, right? Your reaction should be, oh hey, you would think either they have to be super greedy to catch up, or they have to all in again to catch up. So you want to build sort of standard defensively, and then eventually, like maybe in 5 minutes after they're all in, you want to go kill them, because you don't want them to let them catch up with super greedy play, because human error happens and you can make a mistake back in the game. But you don't want to just all in right away, because even though you have probably a 90% chance to win with an all in after they've tried to rush you, it's 100% if you wait a little bit. Don't die to their second rush. You sort of scout it out, and then you have a 40 supply lead, and the game's over. And you can A-click it through their base. And yeah, where's my Twitch chat? Ha ha ha. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point. That's exactly what I'm saying. Mac Maverick Raven 216. Is it bad to have a YOLO mindset as CM and expect to die? That's exactly right. It's bad to expect to get all your spells off right away by running in and A-clicking the enemy heroes. Like, you need to be smart about how you play. I don't actually like the Artosis quote. If you're ahead, try to get more ahead. I actually think like it should be longer. Like if you're ahead, try to get more ahead unless you have a higher chance of losing. Then it's just you should just optimize your chance of winning. I'm actually not that big a fan of like how information is presented by casters in every game because I think it's a bit simplified, but it's probably better for a general audience. I don't know. Like you obviously can't talk like how I'm talking now in a cast, or else it would be awful. Well, I mean, like, I don't know how I'm saying this. Like, I actually love how the StarCraft casters cast, but I don't want people to specifically quote what people are saying in casts as completely 100% pertinent information because it's not a proper analysis in a cast. Because it's impossible to do a proper analysis in a cast because you have a sort of an entertainment thing to listen to. Entertainment portion that you need to adhere to, I guess. And anyways, I think that's the end of this. Like, I don't specifically care who's gonna win this game because, like, it goes on another 20 minutes and the game should have been over. So I'm just gonna skip. I mean, this game's actually ridiculous. Someone should actually just watch this themselves. Okay, so Radiant eventually win after 73 minutes, and I just wanna say. It took them 73 minutes to win when their Timbersaw, when they had a 15k advantage at 20 minutes and their Timbersaw had Bloodstone Aghanims at 15 minutes. Like, do you know how ridiculous? That is so ridiculous. Like, let's go back, sorry, at 20 minutes. Let's go back to the 20-minute mark of the game. Like, look at this shit. How is this possible? They won the game, but that's not how you wanted to win Dota. That's not how you improve at Dota. If anyone on the Radiant team looks at this replay and goes, hey, we won, everything else that happened doesn't matter, they're just so incredibly wrong. Like, they could learn so much from this game. And yeah, that's... and someone saying SE is not the same game as Dota, you cannot make the same conclusion about how to win. I think most things in Dota and StarCraft are just things about strategy games in general. I think you can make ties to pretty much everything between the two. And I think that playing Dota 1 helped me a lot in StarCraft 2, and playing StarCraft 2 helped me a lot in Dota 2. So the games are incredibly relevant to each other. And I just want to, yeah, thanks for watching. I'm going to probably try to do more of these videos. Maybe like, I'm going to try to have them on schedule for streaming them, but they'll be uploaded to my YouTube fairly regularly. The problem is that we have DreamHack for 2 weeks, and I don't think I'll be producing any content then. And then hopefully we get voted to the summit. Like, I pray that we get voted to the summit because, man, if I'm Princess like Jasmine and I don't get into the summit, I don't get to see my Aladdin universe. Like, wow, that's just sad. Like, there's no faith in humanity left. But yeah. Yeah, thanks for watching. I actually really appreciate the viewers because if I was just talking to myself for an hour, it'd actually make me so depressed. So shout out to you guys. And I am going to end this portion of my stream now, and I'm probably going to stream some live matchmaking games after.